Like Nikki Haley's, my shoe is not for fashion; it's for ammunition.
Get my daughter's name out of your voice.
That was embarrassing. Why were people so upset about that? It was the softest.
Come on! You don't get why people were upset about that.
I don't know. I don't. All he said was your daughter's on TikTok. Take care of your family first, like before criticizing me about being on TikTok. Like, okay, your daughter's on TikTok. That's public knowledge. I assume I can get on TikTok and find her. Like, who cares? That's not a low blow. If someone said that about my daughter, I would be baffled. She's only 3. But why is that an attack?
Well, I mean, I don't know how old Nikki Haley's daughter is, but
he's 25, 26, something like that.
Well, I mean, it was an attack on her parenting. If she's here saying like, don't do this and your daughter's doing it, it's kind of an attack on her parenting, but it's also like, how many parents know every single thing their kid's doing or has control over every single thing their kid's doing? I feel like it's just, I feel like it was like a low blow and it didn't really further his argument about why he was on TikTok and what she was attacking over. Does it make her a hypocrite because her daughter's on TikTok? I don't think so. Maybe she told her to get off and she chose not to. I don't know.
I don't think that. I mean, maybe that happened. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, it's not she's 20. She's an adult. So presumably Nikki Haley has very little control over what she does, but she's also running for president. So like, clean up your act a little bit. Don't be on TikTok because you're going to hurt mommy's, prospects of being the first female president. I got to beat Kamala to the punch. But it's still not like Scott Braddock was like on Twitter, don't insult our daughters. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is not like, Scott, you don't like Nikki Haley to begin with. 1, 2, he didn't insult her daughter. All he said was your daughter's on TikTok. Like, he's on TikTok because he wants to reach the Gen Z audience, and maybe that's a good strategy or not. We can argue about that. Do they care? Are they going to listen? Is it going to resonate with them? Who knows? But he's trying. But all these fucking Republicans that are running for office that aren't on TikTok are just totally missing the boat. And they're taking some sort, they think that they're better than TikTok. Fine. I mean, I don't have TikTok because I'm not, but if I was running for office, I might start a TikTok. And if the CCP wants to download my information, they're probably doing it anyway. I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to try to reach those Gen Z voters.
We should probably put this show on TikTok, by the way. Okay, let me give you this scenario. Say a Republican presidential candidate has a, mid-20s daughter, and that daughter had an abortion, and somehow it was public. And then in a debate, and this Republican's very pro-life. In a debate, someone was like, you can't be pro-life, or like, work on your own family. If you're pro-life, your daughter had an abortion. Would you think that's a low blow?
I mean, I think that's a more extreme of an example, right? You're talking about presumably Republicans that are pro-life. They believe that is a fully, that's a life. You're murdering a baby if you do that, right? So that's a degree, several degrees difference than your daughter is on TikTok.
Well, no, regardless of the merit, would you think it's a low blow to that person about what their daughter did, whether or not you agree with what your daughter did? I mean, yes, the whole, like, the stakes are much higher. We're talking about, yes, a person, but I'm saying, would you think that attack would be a low blow on that candidate?
Without more information. Well, if the candidate whose daughter got an abortion, if they're like, abortion is, it's murder, and anybody that does it is, a murderer, and you can't, we have to take control of our families and all this other stuff. And then that came out, like, okay, well, I think it's fair game. It might be a low blow, but if I don't know. I don't know.
Michael, do you think the original comment was a low blow, and do you think the hypothetical comment was a low blow?
They're totally different. So the comment about her daughter being on TikTok was a nothing burger. Knock it off, snowflakes. Chill out. It's a nothing burger. Your daughter's on TikTok. Oh my God. Calling out someone for a very private
TikTok. In this scenario, it was public somehow. I don't know how. Maybe she wrote a memoir.
But being on TikTok, presumably you're being there to get followers and be very public about it. Anybody can go find that very easily. Having an abortion is very private. Is she out there under the scenario? Is the daughter out there saying, "I'm pro-abortion and I had one"?
No, she was on she was doing a YouTube interview with an influencer, and she said she had an abortion once.
That's the same thing.
But she didn't say she was pro. She was like, maybe she struggled with it in this interview, and she's like, I am pro-life, but okay, this is a whole hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, I think under that scenario, it's fair game, but I wouldn't advise doing it. That's a private, very tough. I mean, I've told this story to people before. I had a friend in college. I'm not outing her. She went out one night, hooked up with some dude, got pregnant, didn't want to call him. She had an abortion. I went with her. It was incredibly traumatic experience for her as a young college girl. And she didn't do it lightly. So for me, the issues, just because of that experience, that's a private matter. It was not, it's not something to be taken lightly. And I wouldn't advise a presidential candidate to throw that out there in a debate. On the other hand, if it's a TikTok scenario, that's fair game. And come on, guys, let's grow up a little bit. It's okay. He didn't attack her daughter. He didn't really attack her parenting. It didn't strengthen his argument for why he's on TikTok. It was irrelevant, but I thought the reaction to it was a little overblown.
I'll agree with Michael that it would be inadvisable to attack someone's daughter about an abortion. But it's still there's a lot of variables there that aren't in this hypothetical that are unknown. So it's
yeah.
All right. Well, clearly the outcome of this is that you don't mind when candidates attack people's daughters. No, I'm kidding. Listen, I'm not taking up arms over this issue. I'm not going to be out there tweeting protect our daughters because he attacked her over TikTok. I just don't. I just, if I were working with him, I'd be like, don't do that. Just like I would have also told his outreach director a couple weeks ago not to call black people stupid, but she did that anyway. So there's a lot of things they shouldn't be doing. But yes, I mean, is it the end of the world? No, it's not.